to continue to actually help you understand how that all comes together. So in my book, I talk about the foundation is this idea of the learning partnership, and it starts with rapport. And that's where the neuroscience of trust starts to play a really important role. Getting that brain calm, getting that space safe, and not just safe physically, that needs to happen, but safe for making mistakes, safe for failure to be an okay thing, right? That's what you're doing. The next part of that learning partnership is alliance. That just because you say growth mindset, doesn't mean kids will get one. Just because you say this is safe doesn't mean they feel it. So you have to actually build that alliance. And in the alliance, we're going to talk about this, that kids bring something to the table, you bring something to the table, all in the service of getting that kid to figure out how to regain that natural confidence, how to go from being a dependent learner to an independent learner. Last but not least is this idea of cognitive insight. What does that mean? It means the student starts to be self-aware of his learning moves. That you use formative assessment as a feedback loop to help the student know when he or she is moving closer to the kind of learning outcome that you want, that he wants, right? That I understand. That becomes a really important thing. So the learning partnership is the foundation of culturally responsive practice, because it is ultimately going to help us, help the student shift academic mindset. And that says, I belong to this academic community, I can succeed at this, my ability and competence grow with my effort, and this work has value to me. That the student has to internalize these ideas. It's not enough to just have them posted on the wall, like, good, we'll read that, but do you believe it? Mm-mm. The student needs to write it on his heart. This has to be a deep value. But there are things that we're doing that erode that student's sense of confidence. So the learning partnership is designed to rebuild that relationship that allows you to be that child's champion, that allows you to be believed when you're trying to lead him into the ZPD. Building an alliance is the reason for that relationship. Students need both care and push. How do you, in a loving way, give not only the care, but the push? So in my book, I talk about 4 types of teachers. The ultimate is the warm demander. And I'm not talking about warm demander of classroom management. I'm talking about the warm demander of cognitive development. And that is a big difference, because we keep talking about warm demander like all we're trying to do is control their behavior. They will control themselves when learning is juicy enough. But then we have the other 3 types. We have the technical, I call him the technocrat. This is a teacher who's kind of geeks out on a subject, and the kids kind of like that teacher because even though he's not trying to build relationship, he's so passionate that it's contagious. And the kids, that's that zany science teacher. He's always doing that stuff, like kids like, oh, Mr. Z is so, but they love him. Then you have the elitist. The elitist, I'm just teaching to the kids who are here, and if you're here to learn, I'm teaching to you. We hear this, right? That's the elitist, not trying to build a relationship. It's all on the student. Then there is the sentimentalist. And the sentimentalist is a poor baby. They've got stress in their life. They've got trauma. And they're very friendly, and the kids like them, but they don't necessarily have a lot of respect for them because they know they're kind of skating by. So part of what we're trying to do is help everybody release their inner warm demander of cognitive development, right? And you figure out where you are in that, because you're going to use the trust that you generate as fuel to push that student into that ZPD. Not push as in, go unwillingly, but like, I'm going to coax you because you know this is good for you, but you don't necessarily want to go. We're not trying to jump into the pit, right? We have to get lowered into the pit. So being able to understand that the trust that you build from that oxytocin is literally going to be like shoveling coal into a furnace. You got to keep shoveling it. It's not a one and done. Like every day you better come and renew that coal of oxytocin, because you're going to have to keep throwing it on the fire, because the student loses confidence. And you will have to come with enough energy to help them back to that spot. Here's what you get as a result of that. Students give you permission to push them. When you are a warm demander of cognitive development and you have become that child's champion, they give you permission to push. They expect you to kind of needle them to step up your game. And they love you for it. When they see adults aren't really making an effort, they think you really don't care about me. You don't care that I'm failing here. You don't care that I'm 3 grade levels behind. How do we build that alliance so that we can offer them both care and push?